All right, today we're going to talk about a battle that's happening all around us. Right now, mostly behind the scenes. It's this non-stop digital arms race, a fight between the tech designed to find every scrap of your personal data and the tech designed to protect it.
I mean, really think about it. Every social media post, your shopping habits, where you go, who you talk to, it's all out there. It's not just about what you choose to share, it's about this huge digital shadow you create every single day. And that shadow? Well, it's basically a gold mine of information.
And this is the treasure map to that gold mine. What you're looking at here is the landscape for open source intelligence, or OSINT for 2025. Every single one of these logos is a tool that can legally find, scrape, and connect all the publicly available dots about you. This is the offense in our story, a massive, sprawling ecosystem of digital detective work.
Okay, so first up, let's peek inside this toolkit and see what the investigators, from huge corporations all the way to law enforcement, are actually working with. The big guns here are just insanely powerful. You've got digital forensics tools like Celebrate, which can physically pull just about everything off a phone. Then you have these OSINT platforms like Maltego that can take one tiny piece of info, say an email address, and map out this huge visual web of your entire online life. And then there are the tech giants, like Axon and Motorola, who are building these complete walled gardens for law enforcement, bundling everything from body cams to data analysis software into one seamless package.
So all these powerful tools, they need fuel to run, right? Well, in this world, that fuel is your data. And it turns out there are two enormous markets where it's being bought and sold constantly.
You've really got two main pipelines here. First, there's the totally legal market of data brokers. These companies are in the business of collecting public records and commercial data to build these incredibly detailed profiles on all of us, and then they sell them. Then, of course, you've got the illegal market, the dark web, where hackers sell the data they've stolen from breaches. Login credentials, personal info, you name it. Either way, your life becomes a product.
And the scale of that illegal market is just staggering. Services like Have I Been Pwned track all these data breaches, and they've counted over 15 billion exposed accounts. Let that sink in. That's not 15 billion people, that's individual accounts. At this point, it's pretty much a guarantee that everyone watching has had their info leaked at least once.
Okay, that sounds pretty massive, maybe even a little scary, right? But remember, this is an arms race, which means there's also a defense. So let's flip the script and look at the tools you can actually use to fight back and protect yourself.
Your defense options really boil down to two main strategies. You've got reactive defense, which is kind of like an alarm system. It lets you know you've been hacked after it's already happened. Then there's proactive defense. This is more like hiring a security guard. It tries to stop the break-in from happening in the first place by getting your data off the open market.
The most famous reactive tool, and for good reason, is Have I Been Pwned? It is an amazing, totally free service. You just pop in your email address and it tells you if you've been caught up in any known data breaches. It's absolutely essential for knowing when it's time to change your passwords. But just remember, by the time you get that notification, your data is already out there.
Proactive defense, on the other hand, is all about getting out ahead of the problem. Services in this category basically act as your agent. They use consumer protection laws, like GDPR in Europe or CCPA in California, to send legally binding takedown notices to hundreds of data brokers, telling them to delete your file.
And the main players in this space all have a slightly different flavor. You've got a service like Delete Me, which is a hybrid. It uses automation but also has human specialists, giving it more of a white glove feel. Then there's Incogni, which is all about massive scale automation, constantly resending removal requests to make sure your data stays gone. And you have Optory, which is unique because it gives you screenshot proof that your data was found and removed, which is great for transparency. So you're choosing between a human touch, pure automated scale, or verifiable proof.
But this all leads to a much bigger, tougher question. If we have these defensive tools, can we actually win? Is it possible to completely scrub yourself from the internet? Well, the reality is a lot more complicated.
And this quote really hits the nail on the head. The core challenge is that this isn't a one-and-done thing. Data brokers are constantly scraping the internet for new info. So even if you get a profile removed, it can just pop right back up a few weeks or months later when their systems refresh. It's a constant game of whack-a-mole. That's why these are subscription services. You're not buying one deletion, you're paying for a continuous defense.
Yeah, and the numbers really tell the story here.
An academic study found that, on average, these services successfully remove only about 48% of the records they find on you. So why not 100%? Well, some brokers just refuse to comply, or they make the opt-out process a nightmare. And some data is so deeply tied to public records that it's nearly impossible to erase. Look, it is way better than nothing, but it just goes to show you that a complete digital vanishing act is probably not in the cards.
And now, there's a new superweapon being rolled out on both sides of this arms race: artificial intelligence. For the offense, for the investigators, AI is an absolute game changer. It can scan millions of files for evidence, transcribe audio in seconds, and find patterns in huge datasets that no human analyst could ever hope to see.
But, and this is a huge but, there is a very dangerous flip side. AI systems learn from the data we feed them. And if that data is full of our own historical biases, the AI doesn't just learn them, it amplifies them. It can create these nasty discriminatory feedback loops. On top of that, many of these systems are a black box, which means that even the people who made them can't fully explain how or why the AI made a specific decision.
When you apply this to policing, the stakes get incredibly high. You get things like algorithmic bias, where predictive policing systems end up reinforcing old biases and lead to over-policing certain neighborhoods. You have facial recognition tech that has been proven to have higher error rates for women and people of color, which has actually led to wrongful arrests. And because the algorithms are trade secrets, it becomes almost impossible to challenge the AI's reasoning in a court of law.
So we end up right back where we started. This is a constant, escalating fight. The tools for finding our data are getting smarter every day, supercharged by AI. And the tools for protecting it are getting better too, with new laws to back them up. But that central conflict is always there. In this digital arms race, there's probably no final victory. There's only the ongoing struggle for control. So the real question is, who do you think is winning?